It is 8:10 Monday morning. UEBA fires on a finance user logging in from another country, touching systems they rarely use, and downloading more data than usual. Looks bad. Then the analyst checks the calendar. The user moved to a new regional role last week. Travel was approved. The access came from a planned handover. This is the heart of UEBA false positives tuning. The alert was not stupid. It saw real change. The question is whether your tuning can separate normal human change from activity worth investigating. UEBA stands for User and Entity Behavior Analytics. Plain English, it learns what normal activity looks like for accounts, devices, workloads, and sometimes groups, then scores activity that does not fit. A beginner can say it this way: UEBA finds unusual behavior so defenders can decide if it needs action. In a NIST-style framing, it supports detection and analysis. It does not replace policy, identity controls, or human judgment. It adds context. Instead of only asking, did this event match a rule? UEBA asks, is this behavior strange for this user, this peer group, this device, and this time? That is useful, but strange is not the same as malicious. Before UEBA, many teams relied on static rules. A login from a new country, a large transfer, privileged access outside business hours. Those rules help, but they are blunt. They do not know that the help desk works weekends during a rollout. They do not know that a developer joined the database team. They do not know that executives travel. Without behavior analytics, analysts spend time stitching context together by hand. With poor UEBA tuning, they still do that, but with more alerts. The real problem is not that UEBA makes noise. The problem is untreated change. Reorgs, new jobs, project deadlines, and on-call weeks all create behavior shifts that look anomalous, unless the system is tuned to absorb normal change. UEBA tuning starts with baselines. The learning window controls how much history the system uses to understand normal behavior. Too short, and one odd week becomes normal. Too long, and a role change keeps looking suspicious. Next are peer groups. Accuracy depends heavily on grouping similar users and entities. Comparing a payroll clerk to a cloud engineer produces bad alerts. Comparing cloud engineers to cloud engineers is better. Then use suppressions carefully. Suppress known good patterns, but give every suppression an expiration date and an owner. A permanent mute becomes blindfolding. Finally, feed analyst outcomes back into the system: true positive, benign change, expected travel, approved project, bad peer group. That feedback trains future scoring and improves precision. Here is a common SOC story. A user in operations starts accessing more production dashboards at night. UEBA scores the account high because the time, volume, and systems are unusual. The analyst opens the case and checks identity data, ticketing, on-call schedules, and recent org changes. The answer? The user joined the incident rotation for 2 weeks. The team marks the alert as benign operational change, not closes it as nothing. That label matters. They add a suppression for that account and dashboard pattern until the rotation ends, not forever. They also review the peer group. The user was still grouped with day shift operations, not on-call responders. After correction, similar alerts drop, while genuinely odd access still scores high. UEBA is strong at spotting behavior that traditional rules miss. It can connect weak signals: unusual time, unusual device, unusual data volume, unusual resource, and unusual peer comparison. That gives analysts a better starting point, but UEBA does not prove intent. It does not know a person's life unless your data tells it. A promotion, maternity cover, travel, merger work, or emergency shift can all look suspicious. It also depends on clean identity data, reliable logs, and sensible groups. Bad HR data means bad baselines. Missing device logs means missing context. UEBA is not an autopilot. It is a decision support tool that gets better when defenders tune it with discipline. Think of UEBA as an analytics layer in the defensive stack. The SIEM collects and correlates logs. UEBA scores behavior across users and entities. The case system tracks decisions. Automation can route, enrich, or request approvals, but should not blindly close risk. Identity systems provide manager, role, department, location, and group membership. Endpoint and cloud logs provide device and workload context. Good cross-reference works both ways. A SIME rule can send an event into UEBA for behavior scoring. A UEBA high-risk event can create a SIME case with context already attached. The goal is one investigation view, not another alert island. Start small. Pick the top 5 UEBA alert types by investigation time, not by count alone. Read a sample of closed cases. Separate malicious, policy violation, approved change, expected business activity, and unknown. Then inspect peer groups. Are interns compared to admins? Are service accounts mixed with people? Are regional teams grouped together when their hours are totally different? Fix that before chasing model settings. Create a suppression standard. Reason, scope, owner, start date, end date, and review date. Teach analysts to leave useful feedback, not just false positive. Last, measure precision. Ask of alerts sent to analysts, how many deserved investigation? Lower volume is not success if you also bury the signal. Recap in 3 beats. First, anomalous is not malicious. Life changes, travel, reorgs, new roles, and on-call weeks all create real behavior shifts. Second, peer group quality drives UEBA accuracy. Bad comparisons create bad alerts. Third, tune with controls, learning windows, expiring suppressions, analyst feedback, and precision metrics. Do not celebrate fewer alerts by itself. Celebrate better alerts that help analysts make faster, safer decisions. If this was useful, subscribe to Security Tools Decoded. New episode daily, vendor neutral and defense only. Also watch for the daily ranked CVE brief on this channel, built for defenders who need the signal fast.